Hello everyone, it's Carles Ali here, and in today's video I want to talk about why I think you should start investing into high-ticket masterminds, events, workshops as a high-ticket closer, right? And I'm not referring to sales training, sales coaching, all that stuff, which you should if you want to get into this industry as a high-ticket closer, but I'm referring more in the business side of things and understanding business, okay? So let me explain that in a moment. Let me come back to that. Just for context, quick introduction. My name is Carles. I'm from Barcelona, and I've been in the high ticket, I'm a high ticket closer. I've been in the high ticket industry for about 10, 11 months right now. So almost a year selling courses, coaching services. That's what all is about. Okay. Selling masterminds, selling information for implementation, right? So I'm currently working for JKD agency. Okay. It's the reason I'm talking about this in my channel is because I'm so confident about the product that I'm selling, and it will be unfair to not talk about this company. So yeah, we sell appointment booking systems for agency owners and consultants and coaches that need help with obviously scaling the business by getting more appointments. The reason I'm making this video is because I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm in Alex Hormozi workshop here in Las Vegas in the headquarters in acquisition.com. And something, I was coming out of the event today because today was the last day. It was a 2-day workshop, which by the way, I recommend to everyone that is watching this, whether you're a business owner or a high ticket closer, right? And I was coming out today and I was just thinking, I was in a room of 100 people, 100 business owners. And I was the only sales rep, I think, in the room, right? And a lot of people asked me already from my last YouTube videos, because I'm in different masterminds. They asked me, why are you in these masterminds when you're not a business owner? You're a sales rep, you're a high ticket closer, right? Why don't you invest into sales training or sales mastermind? The answer to that question is I'm already invested into sales training, sales coaching, right? And to answer the question, why do you invest into like masterminds are about business and growing your business and intended for business owners, is because I want to understand business, and I think you should, right, as a high ticket closer, right? So there's two routes. If you're new to this channel, you don't know the high ticket industry, the high ticket closing, you can sell B2C, which means you're selling to business to customer, meaning a biz up, for example, meaning hey, you want to start your business and get to 10K a month, right? That's a biz up. So then there's the other option, which is B2B. You're selling business to business, right? So that's what we do. That's what I do. I sell to agency owners and consultants that need to scale their business, right? So fundamentally, if I don't understand business, how am I supposed to solve a problem, right? And I see this mistake, especially in the B2B industry. I see that mistake happening a lot, right? There's very good high ticket closers that are very good at what they do and their craft, but they don't understand business, right? And they could be closing so much more if they understand metrics. If they understood metrics, sales metrics, what does that mean for the business when it comes to how many appointments you have, right? And it sounds so obvious, but there's a lot of people that don't know that, right? And that's very important when it comes to line of questioning, discovery questions. So that's why I'm investing into myself. All my money that I make as a high ticket closer, I reinvest into myself. Get better at business, get better at like obviously sales, right? Get better at marketing and how everything compounds, right? Obviously also internal mastery, right? Mindset coaches, all that stuff. Okay, so yeah, coming back to my point, because I know I'm just having like a raw talk here, and this is intended this way because I don't want to have like a script or anything. I'm just saying this because just understanding and just coming out of today's event has given me already so much knowledge that I needed, and I use this to close one client right now based on that, right? So kind of what we talked on Alex Hormozi event, it's obviously how to grow the business, but how to focus and how to leverage the lever that is going to move the needle obviously the most in the business, right? Because a lot of people, and this could be applied to business, but this could be also applied to the sales rep, right? Meaning, what things do you need to focus on the most so that we can scale this business with the minimum effort, right? Obviously, there's gonna be effort. I'm not saying this out of pain avoidance. I'm saying this out of how can we work smarter, not harder, right? So one problem that we're facing right now, right? So we're at 1 million a year right now, and we want to scale this to 5. We want to scale this to 10 million, right? So one constraint that we have is sales, right? And that relates to me, right? Which we're closing about 15% on cold outbound. Everything comes from email and LinkedIn, right? So obviously what we're thinking of and what we were thinking of before coming to this event was like, okay, let's prepare something that, an upsell. Let's prepare something that our current clients are facing that we could solve as well. We can charge on that and we can make more money. We can increase the LTV, right? But what we need to do instead, if we just switch and tweak the metrics on sales and we get from 15 to 20, right? Just by changing that metric, right? We can literally double the business, right? 20-25%, right? So right now, there's myself and there's another rep that needs to get to KPI, right? So what we're trying to do, and what we were trying to do all this time is, okay, let's do this let's create more YouTube videos, because that's bringing the better leads, the warmest leads, and all that stuff, right? And we were focusing on the wrong thing, right? What we need to fix on is, one, sales training. Okay, how to do better objection handling, how to, have discovery questions, how to pre-handle objections before coming to the call, meaning we can create a VSL where we can address all these objections that we get in based on data, not emotion, right? And be able to fix that, right? So we talked about all of this. Again, we have like a whole playbook here that obviously I'm not going to disclose from Alex Hormozi and what we talked, right? But there is different frameworks that we're going to use based on what we had from him, right? One of the things he mentioned as well is the culture and leadership, right? Which may seem like a little bit boo-hoo, but let me drink some water before I dive into that. Okay, so culture and leadership, right? Talking about the core values of a company, the core values of the sales team. All of that stuff is super important, right? Because if you bring someone that is new to the sales team and they don't understand the values of the company, they don't understand why they're going to be taking 10 calls a day, right? It's going to be very difficult for them to stay and have longevity in the company, and obviously themselves making money. But we talked about these core values, right? And how it's so important to bring people in the company that actually understand the values. And if they don't understand the culture and they don't have, let's say you have like a checklist of 3 options, right? And these are the 3 values that we're looking when it comes to culture. If they don't have one of them, it's going to be very difficult, right? To actually integrate a person into the company, right? If they have like, obviously they don't need to be perfect. They don't need to be 10 out of 10, but if they have like 8, 10, 7, and then 6, like you can make it work, right? And you can obviously train them. And one of the frameworks that Alex Hormozi talks a lot on his videos, but we also touch a lot in here, is how to train somebody and how to do the behaviors, right? So let me explain on that, which is first one, and there's 4 steps, just so you can have context on this. First one is I do, you watch, right? Meaning closer here, like the closer that is closing the most, basically. So what I can do is I do, let's say objection handling, let's say we're on a sales training or sales objection handling role play, right? With the company, I do, and the other closer watch, right? Then the next step will be we do it together, right? Meaning we're going to do objection handling role play together, right? And they're going to start implementing with what I saw. They're going to start implementing with what I did before. Then third step is they do and I watch so I can correct them, right? And then the 4th step is you do, then I review, right? So that's how you train behavior, and that's how you, as a sales team, for example, you train new people coming in, and that's the process that you have so that everyone feels supported when they get here. And it's not like just, hey, here's some scripts and just go ahead, right? Up until this point, we tried to hire 4 or 5 different closers at this point in the past 5 to 6 months. And it's been very difficult to find one that actually consistently understand the process, understand the product, and obviously implement the SOPs correctly, and obviously in the shortest amount of time. So it's been very difficult to get closer to KPI. So the reason I'm talking about all of this, right, if you're watching this, is because it's super important to understand all this stuff as a high ticket closer, and even if you're a business owner, obviously, right? But like, a lot of people ask me like, why do you invest in all of this? Why are you getting into all these rooms, spending all this money? It's because I love it. I love business, right? And I love to sell to businesses, right, that need help with this. So it's also a way, like, who knows, in 10 years, if I have a business myself, I'm going to be far ahead than a lot of these people, just because I understand the fundamentals that everything sits on, right? And another thing that we talked on, and that we spoke on this event, is there's different tires, right? There's 0 to 1 million, right? If you cannot scale beyond that, you have a problem with the business model, right? Second option is 1 to 3 million, right? If you cannot scale past beyond 3 million, is because you might be getting distracted. Meaning a lot of people get to 3 million and they're like, you know what? This business is working. Let's automate it. Let's create another business. That's when everything falls off, right? And you probably heard this, a lot of people happening, right? And it's the, woman in the red dress, which Hormozi talks about a lot. And then there's the other option, which is 3 to million. Right? And if you cannot scale beyond that, you need people, right? You might need more resources. But again, every single business is different. So, if you're somebody that either is getting in the high ticket industry, when high ticket closing, I would recommend you do that. Obviously, the first thing you need is understanding sales. This comes secondary. I came from a background where I already own different businesses myself, so I understood a little bit, obviously, what it takes to grow a business. And I didn't grow it massively. I didn't even do it successfully, full transparency. But I understood what it took. So when I'm talking to business owners that are struggling with the same problem that I had, they relate, right? And I actually understand and I hear them, right? So it obviously will help you as a high ticket closer. That's why I'm saying you should start investing into sales. But obviously the next step is understanding business, right? If you want to go into B2B industry, for example, right? If you are in the B2C, you may not need to do that, honestly, but it's also good to understand, right? Because you never know. So that's why I'm creating this video. And again, very raw talk about this. But if you're somebody that is trying to get in the high ticket closing, you're trying to grow this, you're trying to get to 10, 15, 20K, this will help you, right? This will help you put you in a better position to get to that point. Obviously, your sales skills are the most important. I'm just thinking right now how fast life can change in 6 to 12 months, right? Like 12 months ago, I was completely lost. I didn't know what to do, right? I was in college. I was just like, what am I going to do? My business is not growing. And I just found high ticket closing. And thank God that I found high ticket closing, because I'm recording this video right now from Las Vegas. You can see the hotel. I'm not that fancy, guys. In this hotel, it's insane. You can see here, I don't know if you can see the palazzo, and the views are insane, right? And I came to the realization today. I was talking with Hormozi, right? Somebody that I watched so many videos about him. I was in the first row just watching Hormozi, answering our questions, right? Life can change so quickly if you put hours into this and you dedicate yourself and sacrifice a lot of things to get to your goals, right? So I hope this video was valuable, right? I just wanted to explain a little bit my experience with the Hormozi's workshop, why I think you should invest into this, into different masterminds, events, workshops, and obviously not only on business, also sales training, right? If you don't invest into yourself, how are you supposed to ask somebody to pay you 5, 10, 15K, whatever price you're selling, right? So yeah, that's just my belief though. Might be wrong. Don't take my advice, right? Just test it out. Just run a test and see it for yourself. I have something crazy that happens to me every single time, which is, and I talk about this with the founder of these companies, every time I invest into myself, meaning I invest 5K, I invest, 13K into my sales training and stuff, which I did, right? I pay 5K to come here. Like every time I invest into myself, indirectly the next hours or the next day, I get a client, I get a deal, right? And I start getting money back for no reason, right? I feel it's like some weird energy that when you give money out, money comes in again. I don't know, it's a little bit weird, but I hope this video was valuable somehow. If you're a high ticket closer, you're trying to get into the industry. By the way, if you need help with that, like I'm gonna drop my Instagram. You can just send me a message there. If you need help getting into an offer, if you need help with something, like I'm happy to help. I don't have any service. And again, if you're a business owner or you're an agency, marketing consultant, whatever it is, and you need help with appointments, we can help you at JKD Agency, okay? jkdagency.com. And yeah, that's all. So yeah, hope this video was valuable, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.